December 1st, 2015 Sebastopol City Council meeting to order. If the city clerk will please note that all council members are in attendance. And if everyone would please rise and we will salute the flag together.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A couple of really quick calendar things that I'd like to remind the community about, and they're both on Thursday. And the first, and I believe this will be reiterated during public comment, but I'm going to say it from the dais, which is the community tree lighting is happening at the town plaza, and I'm not sure of the timing, but I'm sure that we will learn of that. So I'm thrilled to be able to announce that. It's always a lot of fun to go down there and take part in that. There's a slight chance of rain. Don't let it scare you away. It's always great. And then the other thing is, so after you take part in the tree lighting, head out and do Dining for Life at one of the many local establishments that take part in that. It's a tremendous fundraiser, and it's a lot of fun to do that. The restaurants that participate in that are always full, and there's a real buzz, and it's a lot of fun to do. Let's see, we have no proclamations or presentations, and this evening is a unique evening in the annual calendar, which is where the City Council peacefully passes the mayorship. And one of the nice traditions about this is that the outgoing mayor is afforded the opportunity to make a few comments. And anybody who's been paying attention over this past year understands that I've taken more than my opportunity to make a few comments from time to time about things that I feel need to be spoken about. Tonight is, I hope, significantly lighter. Politics are like sports. You need to be smart enough to understand the game, but dumb enough to think it's important. To be honest, this is a position I never envisioned myself holding. I was never involved with student leadership or held any other elected office. My community involvement always tended towards volunteerism and activities related to my profession, rather than making policy, dealing with budgets, and learning about the legal ramifications of every possible facet of city operation. Over my 5 years on the council, I've had the privilege of hearing the thoughts of 3 outgoing Sebastopol mayors, Guy Wilson, Michael Keyes, and Robert Jacob. The first spoke of being good stewards of the city with a plea for future councils to work together as cohesive units. The second spoke of the structural strength of the city budget, albeit with little room for error, and the need to continually analyze and consider how every council action of today affects the outcome of tomorrow. The third spoke of how holding the office of mayor allowed him to come to a deeper understanding of our community and the realization that we are all inexorably linked. All 3 made excellent points in their own ways. 2015 has been a good year for the city of Sebastopol. The general plan update is on schedule, and the public vetting process will begin in earnest in early spring. The city budget is, as always, balanced and stable, but also, as always, not large enough to take on all the desired projects or provide all the desired social services. 2016 will see the continued evolution of a couple of downtown development proposals that, if seen to fruition, will bring vitality and desired goods and services to Sebastopol. The city continues to work towards increasing walkability and bikeability through the possible accelerated implementation of the bicycle and pedestrian master plan. Through the efforts of city staff and Caltrans, construction of our new Eastern Gateway in the form of a new Highway 12 bridge is well underway. The city has recently been able to open a new park adjacent to the new bridge and will soon undertake the expansion of another at the Skate Garden. These are all signs that Sebastopol is a healthy, vibrant, and capable community. But most importantly, I believe, Sebastopol continues to be an authentic and democratic small town. We govern ourselves in a way that is consistent with the majority opinion. We make decisions while listening to input from all. We respect the environment and, when appropriate, we speak out on issues of national and international importance. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see." Sitting in this seat, I see a community that is strong and resourceful. I see a city government that is responsive, frugal, and professional. And I see volunteer and service organizations doing an immeasurable amount of good. Every outgoing mayor probably has a little burst of ego with the thought of, "Now that was a good year." I, of course, am no different. I am proud of my work as mayor, but I am more proud of the work of the entire council and the work of our city staff. No single individual, either elected or staff, regardless of position or title, can get anything substantive done without the knowledge, guidance, and cooperation of the entire team. The staff members the council interacts most with are the city manager and the city clerk, and I would like to specifically note their remarkable efforts in assisting the council with every inquiry about policies, parliamentary procedure, public process, history lessons, bookkeeping, technology, municipal law, and everything and anything else you might or might not be able to imagine. We are a quite unpredictable group of five, and the ability to stay a step and a half ahead of us is practically an unfettered pathway to sainthood. I extend deep appreciation to my coworkers seated at this dais, to the entire city staff who, day in and day out, provide Sebastopol residents with exemplary service and make the council's job much easier. To friends and neighbors who continue to be surprised by my elected position and who regularly provide me with alternate points of view to consider. But my deepest appreciation goes out to my wife, Teresa, who doesn't keep me grounded, who doesn't help me with my schedule, doesn't keep the home fires burning particularly brightly, and who is just as unique and amazing as everyone else. No, what Teresa does is allow me space and time to grow and explore, and she inspires me through a quiet and dignified example coupled with remarkable resolve. Her unwavering moral compass is always navigating towards what is right and true. The important things for council members to always have in mind is that this job is much more important than sports or politics, although one does need to understand the game. This job is one of representation, following the golden rule and always respecting others regardless of divergent or synchronic opinions, doing what is in the best long-term interest of the community and knowing that mistakes will be made, having the ability to keep an open mind, to listen, and to learn. Thank you. So with that as my final mayoral statement, I will turn it over to the vice mayor who will call for nominations for our next mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We all enjoyed that speech tremendously. Thank you again. So it is my responsibility to ask the council for nominations for the position of mayor. What we'll do is take all nominations and then look for a motion to select one of us. Are there nominations from the floor? Councilmember Eater?
Well, in that the terms of Councilmember Jacob and I are ending at the end of 2016. You know, the other members of this council will have opportunities in the future to be the mayor. And, you know, more so probably than anybody on the council, I really saw how much Robert enjoyed being the mayor. And I think he did great work, provided exemplary leadership. And, you know, his participation on the budget committee with Councilmember Glass has been beyond reproach. And so, you know, in recognition of that, if he is desirous of accepting it, I'd like to nominate Councilmember Jacob.
Thank you. Are you accepting that nomination? And I will be asking if there are any other nominations following your remarks.
Thank you, Councilmember Eater. I appreciate your nomination. But we have a very busy year of cannabis policy coming up, and I need to save room to focus on that issue. And I also am looking very much forward to spending the next year with our vice mayor and taking on that role, if so appropriate. So really thank you. I really appreciate you providing that nomination. It means a lot, but I will turn it down at this time. And with that, I would, may I make a nomination? With that, I would add to the nomination list, and maybe others, I assume, Vice Mayor Gurney for the position of mayor.
Thank you. I will accept that nomination and call for any further nominations from the council. Would anyone like to nominate him or herself? Then could we have a motion to select a mayor?
I guess I'm the first, would that be second?
We need a motion.
We need a motion on the floor, and then we need a second, just like always.
I move that we select Vice Mayor Gurney to serve as mayor in our upcoming year.
Thank you very much. And a second on that?
I will second that.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor, then please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much then. I appreciate that opportunity and honor to serve. We need to proceed then for nominations for the position of vice mayor for the next year. Would anyone like to make a nomination?
I would like to nominate Councilmember Glass as vice mayor for this next year, if she will accept.
Well, thank you for that nomination, and I will accept.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for vice mayor? Would anyone like to nominate his or herself? No? Then I'll look for a motion to confirm Councilmember Una Glass as our vice mayor.
I move that we confirm Councilmember Una Glass as Vice Mayor of the City of Sebastopol.
Thank you, and I would be honored to second that. Any discussion? I appreciate your willingness to serve. Alrighty, all those in favor then say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, congratulations, Vice Mayor Una Glass. We now have a presentation to our outgoing mayor. Just stay right there.
I have one.
I know, that's fine. So to our outgoing mayor, forever, hereafter known as the Honorable Patrick Slater, I would like to thank you for your service by providing you this plaque. I hope your year was fun and fulfilling. I've sat next to you through that whole year, and I know it was quite a lot of work. And I want to impress upon our community your dedication. This mayor didn't miss a single meeting, which is quite remarkable.
In 5 years.
5 years. Going on number 6. I want to compliment your reserved and serious manner. I think it's that's how you've led us through many calm meetings without great distraction. and a direct course to get our business done. So I appreciate your efforts and your dedication to public service. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice, thank you.
Yes, Councilor, Vice Mayor Glass, comments.
I just wanted to thank our outgoing Mayor Slater, who I did not know very well at the beginning of his term as mayor. And I have to say, I have really enjoyed working with him, as I also enjoy working with our entire council. I think we get one of the best council in the county, so. And I particularly enjoyed working with our rather understated mayor, who has got this great attention to detail, is a very kind and consensus-building person, and he's really smart. And so I just want to say how much I've enjoyed working with you as mayor, and thank you for all the work you put in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Actually, I do.
Yes.
Well, over the 3 years I've been on this council, I've noticed the number of items on the agenda is getting smaller and smaller, which I really appreciate. That continues. I think Michael Kais was the king of, well, come on, it's only 11:30, let's keep going, we're almost done, you know? And I appreciate that. I think it speaks to really addressing just the things that are really important that the city council has jurisdiction over. I do appreciate kind of the editorials that you have presented over the course of your term. I think they were timely and fitting and not inappropriate for this forum. I know a lot of times we discuss issues that honestly this body has no ability to affect in any manner, but I think you kept our thoughts focused at times of in troubling news. And I think it was good for all of us to have that reminder of, of our humanity. So anyway, thank you for that. I think you've done a great job. You've been a great leader, and now you get to.
Thank you.
Yes, any more comments?
Mayor, former, always once mayor, always a mayor, Honorable Slater, Pat, Honorable Pat. I thought that you, for me, you are sort of my anchor on the council. I tend to be the explosive energy guy, and you're always consistent and thorough. But I think that the one thing over the last year that you've been is honestly consistent and fair. Didn't matter who was a public comment or how they were speaking or what they were engaging. You treated everybody with the same rules. I thought you did a great job at ensuring all the council members were heard and had the time they needed to express what was important to them. And you quite fairly and equally agendized everybody's items. And really, the role of mayor is about being the center of, as council, or Vice Mayor Glass said, the best council in the county. And I thought you've been a wonderful leader in holding this dais together. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again on a year of wonderful service. So we're going to move on to public comments. This is an opportunity before we, pardon me? We were going to do that at the break, but thank you for managing. Okay. We'll change seats at the break if that's okay with you.
We'll see about that.
We good now? All right. Okay, is everybody settled and comfortable and ready to move forward? I want to invite the public to make comments now on items that are not on our agenda. And I welcome continued appreciations for Patrick for his work. This is the time and the opportunity. If you would like to do that. Welcome this evening.
11 Minnesota, Bodega Avenue. A number of things. One, I want to thank you. I went on the Harvest Walk, and I want to say what I saw there was community being built and sustained, and it was fascinating information. Patrick, you've done an amazing job. Thank you. You're definitely an anchor. The thing I want to speak to is the homeless. I understand that may not be in your purview, but what I'm just really conscious of, and I know this is no easy task, when you get to the point that many of our homeless have gotten to, they burned all their bridges. They can't go back, they can't go home, they can't go to those many places. I like to call them the shelterless. And I'm wondering what it is we can do. Last time I was up here, I went through the whole process of how you get things recognized. The piece I don't get is once you get to, wait a minute, this is an issue, when does that begin to be recognized as an item? So my concern at this point, and I know that Chief Weaver and Chief Barbara have to deal with it all the time, but my concern is, at this point, what makes it different? How do we begin to provide for them? I know in other towns that their churches handle it. I know one of our churches here provides a great deal. But is there a way that the shelterless can be provided for? And the recognition is for many of them there's mental illness. We get that. But it's almost like we have to do rehab as well as shelter. And is there a way we could do that? Are there grants or something out there that we could begin to do that? Robert, I've seen you time and time again speak to those that that are in low-income housing, low housing. And what I'm concerned about is we can evacuate Village Park and we can evacuate the Laguna, but where do they go and where do they disperse to? We had an incident where I live this weekend that says, I know where they're coming to. So I just want to say, and I'm going to be on time this time, I just want to say, is there any way we can address this shelterless? Okay, thanks.
Good, thank you very much. And our next speaker?
Hello, my name is Joanna Cedar. It's a pleasure to be with you here this evening. I'm a 13-year resident and property owner in the city of Sebastopol and a 29-year resident of West Sonoma County. I'm here today to speak to you about an urgent matter and a potential economic crisis that affects both city and county residents. Many legal cannabis cultivators living both within the city limits of Sebastopol and in West County as well depend upon cultivation either in part or in whole for their families' livelihoods. Personally, I cultivate because I'm able to save money by growing the medicine that my immediate family members with severe medical conditions require. As a mother and caregiver, growing our medicine ourselves has freed up funds that we've used to pay for our daughter's college education. It isn't cheap, and every penny counts. So West Sonoma County families in particular have a long history of cultivation, and yet we all reap the benefits of the economic activity that they create. I'm here today primarily to make you aware that contained within the new state laws recently enacted regarding the regulation of medical marijuana, there is a provision that if local jurisdictions do not regulate cultivation by March 1st of 2016, they lose the right to do so and cede this power to the state of California. And what the state will or will not allow is unclear. What is clear is that to obtain a state license, a cultivator will need a permit issued by their local jurisdiction before they can apply for such a license. It also appears that for small-scale farmers, there's an unclear pathway to licensure by the state. I believe that we as a community must protect these small farmers, micro-cultivators, if you will, in both the city of Sebastopol and in Sonoma County, both to ensure patient access to safe and quality medicine, but also to maintain the financial viability of those farmers and the economic activity that they will generate. Local residents should have a clear pathway to obtain state licenses, or we will see significant economic hits for the county and each of the cities within it. I'd like to commend the City Council, as Sebastopol has already acted to allow cultivation, so the city will retain its right to regulate it. But for most of Sonoma County's other cities, and most importantly for the county at large, no such regulation currently exists. And since commercial cultivation by and large happens in the county, I implore you to work with elected officials and other policymakers to share your experience enacting common sense permitting and public safety guidelines, and to help them understand the negative economic and social impacts of inaction at this time. Please, for the people of West Sonoma County, for all the businesses that benefit from the cannabis economy like restaurants, hardware stores, and many others, and for the health of the economy as a whole, let's work together to help the county to act now and to stop a looming economic crisis from happening. Honest, legal cultivation work in our community employs many and allows people to spend locally and is deserving of your regard and protection. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your remarks. I'm wondering if we could just pause a minute here. Council Member Slater, the Honorable, can you just make that adjustment? That's easier than having staff walk all the way around.
So that we don't end up on the screen. There.
Hey, thank you. That provides much better access. We were a little nervous. Thank you for doing that.
Hi,
Okay.
I'm Susie Zupan, and I've been a marketing professional for about the last 30 years. And recently I've segued that skill set into the cannabis industry. I'm also speaking about cannabis. As you know, Sebastopol has been very exemplary and progressive in this issue. And I'm just here to ask you if members of this body can exert any influence that they have on the other cities in our county and countywide, just as the previous speaker was mentioning. I have friends that cultivate. I'm not a cultivator myself, but I'm a user of cannabis for many decades for stress relief. The growers that I know of very much want to be taxed and regulated. So if you could pass that along to anybody that you might have influence on in the county. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks again. And if anybody would like to speak after this next person, please just kind of form a line there so I get a sense of how long we might be going. Welcome this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor Gurney and members of the council. I'm Tawny Logan. I am the Executive Director of the Sonoma County Growers Alliance. We represent a collection of over 200 medical marijuana cultivators and advocates. Many of them come from the Sebastopol area, the greater 95472 region. We're here today to thank you for the steps that you've taken in recent years to make Sebastopol a more patient-friendly area. As a woman leader of an exciting new group, I'm really pleased to see leadership taking place here for this next year with both Mayor Gurney and Vice Mayor Glass here today. This is exciting. We're here today to urge you for your help. Sonoma County has yet to create cultivation regulations, and if they don't do so by March 1st of 2016, then the uncertain state regulations will take over, and we will cede our ability for local control. What this means is that hardworking families who cultivate in the county, legal and compliant, good-standing members of our community, will suddenly go from being legal to illegal overnight. Please take all measures in your power to convince the County of Sonoma that it is in everyone's best interest to protect the people who grow medicine for those in need. Like an ecosystem, everything is connected. If the hundreds of cultivators in the 95472 region that I've talked to are suddenly without income here, there will be a financial catastrophe. This will affect many local businesses, as was named prior. Please bear in mind that though I talk to many cultivators, most of them are still unknown to me. There is an integral piece of our economy locally, and SCGA is here to work collaboratively with the City of Sebastopol and the County of Sonoma to ensure that our local control countywide represents the best interests for the largest portion of our specific region in the state. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a request from Councilmember Jacob, if there are people in the audience who support this comment, to stand? Just so we have a
Just to help with
sense
the
of.
number, if you're here tonight and you support the comments, but we just stand up and raise your hand so the council knows that you're here on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good suggestion. I appreciate help tonight. This is new to me again. All right. Welcome, Teresa.
Thanks. Thank you for mentioning tree lighting already, and that's why I'm here from Sebastopol Chamber of Commerce. A couple of things. Congratulations on all your new appointments and for all the good work that you've done. Secondly, the tree lighting is December the 3rd, and we have written a prior letter to City Clerk inviting the mayor, who would be Sarah, to come help us light the tree with the Citizen of the Year. So we will go rain or shine. Hopefully it won't be torrential, but we usually get pretty lucky. It can rain all day and get very calm and quiet for the evening. So please join us regardless of the weather. We have some wonderful little entertainment for you that night, same as what we usually have, but some new additional stuff. And we have a new addition to the festivities this year in partnership with the Downtown Association. We have the Holiday Grove of Trees, which is 6 tree farms that are participating that will be matched up with 6 different restaurants. And they're going to be lighting up 6 trees, putting them in a grove in an area of the plaza, and decorating the trees according to their own little specifications. So I think that will be a really nice addition to the square. So we hope that you will join us for the tree lighting from 5 until 8. There'll be a variety of activities, including all the hot cider and hot chocolate and hot coffee that you can handle, and the popcorn. Just be fair because we usually get backed up. But it is a lot of fun. And then, of course, Santa will arrive on the fire truck. Thank you, Chief. And thank you, Public Works, for decorating the town square. We really appreciate it. And the third thing I want to mention is the Community Awards is fast approaching. The date is set for February the 11th. The nomination forms are on our website, sebastopol.org. So please think of somebody that you'd like to recognize for the year and make the nomination and get them turned in by the end of the month so that the committee can take a look at all those good people and make their determinations and make their recognition for February the 11th at the Center for the Arts. Thank you. See you Thursday, Ranch.
Teresa, just as a point of information, when are the lights going to go on?
When you like them.
All right, apparently you have to show up to see when that's
You have to flip the switch.
Yeah.
Time approximate. Now, of course, it depends upon the weather. If it does start to really, really rain, we'll up the program.
Okay,
But we're shooting for 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
Just so folks know, because that's a big moment,
Yeah.
as well as all the rest of the moments in this
Light the
wonderful
candles
occasion.
along there, light the tree.
All right, thanks.
So make sure that all the electrical stuff is in good shape and you're not standing in a puddle of water.
Okay. Hi, Michael.
Hello. Michael Karnacki, I live on Murphy Street. Thank you, Patrick, for your service. Now that you're not mayor, I think you'll be coming to the Sebastopol Downtown Association meetings.
Let me know when the meetings are.
Okay. We will. First Tuesday of every month. And with regard to that, one point I want to make about the trees that Teresa was speaking of, it just kind of shows a separation between the Barlow and the downtown. The Barlow had their own tree lighting ceremony that they didn't bother letting anybody downtown know about that, and so there's kind of like this little bit of separation that's happening that the Downtown Association would like to bridge that gap between the two, so that was one thing that just came up now. The other thing is that on Friday, this Friday at 2:30 p.m., the police escort will be bringing the Amalie Tigers down Main Street to their championship finals for the first time in 106 years. 106 years. So all of the downtown merchants have been advised, so we're all going to come out with blue and white and send them off on this great cheer. And so we invite everybody to come out, and the more people that are on Main Street, it'll just be the section of North Main coming from the high school and off up 116. So I think that would be really great if we could have like this huge send-off and they go over there and they beat some butt and then come home with the championship, which would be great.
So, it was Friday,
It's this Friday
At
at
2:30
2:30 p.m.
Main Street.
On Main Street and North Main. Yeah, it would be North Main.
Friday,
And South
2:30.
Main and South Main, right. Not North Main, right. And you'll hear, I think you're going to have the motorcycle.
You'll know they're coming
The
through.
motorcycle, right, and so last year, when they went through in the charter bus, Wacko lit up, it's like, wow, what was going on? Big conspiracy theorists were going wild. This year, they went through for the first game, and it was like, that was a bus full of convicts. That's one comment that came through. So anyways, it is the football team.
Okay. So it's our team, they're really okay young people, right? 2:30 Friday, right? And that can go on our website, right? Okay, let's just check, are there any other speakers before we take a break to enjoy refreshments and celebrate our former mayor, the Honorable Patrick Slater's year in office? Seeing no one else then, I'm going to recess for 10 minutes to enjoy cake provided by our staff, refreshments in the lobby.